Hello, everyone. Welcome to Loud and Proud Orlando. It's Monday, March the 3rd, 6:34 p.m. Thank you so much for being live with us. Definitely a better looking Orlando City in this episode. Um, a clobbering. I said at first 3-0. Nothing could be perfect, of course. We conceded 2 goals. We'll discuss all of that and more. But there was a star was born. I'm sure that if you have a girlfriend or a wife, she made you watch that movie. I was forced twice to watch it, unfortunately. So I quite remember. So that's how the name came about of the pod tonight. A star is born, and that is Alex Freeman, because he definitely um, exceeded all expectations. I mean, for us, I think we've been talking about him for a long time. I think John and I and Paul as well. We've been talking about, but I think this is a confirmation of how good of an athlete he is and how good of a player he is and how big he's going to be. And we truly strongly feel 2025 is going to be his year. We're going to be talking about all of that and more. And we're going to preview NYCFC today as well. So stay tuned. Drop us a thumbs up if you're on YouTube. Comment on the chat. And then if you're on X, retweet the video, and it will make us go bigger and stronger. John, how are you, my friend? Good to see you. I love your jersey. Looks amazing with a star right
Yeah,
there.
I'm here rocking my free Orlando Pride jersey that I got with my season ticket. So
Oh,
we're going to be doing the Pride Pod right after this to talk everything about what's happening and season preview for Orlando Pride. So that's coming up tonight as well. But first, we got to talk Orlando City, man, and what a weekend it was.
yep.
It was the complete opposite of last weekend, both in the score and the results and just the vibes and everything. So, 6 goals conceded, 6 goals scored. It depends at this point, Louise. Is your outlook as a positive person where you see we're scoring 6 goals in 2 games? That's great. Or are you a bit more focused on the negative and conceding 6 goals in 2 games? Obviously not good. So, kind of a nice even slate after 2 games for the boys. But hey, lots of goals and some exciting MLS soccer. Great to see some goals this weekend from the likes of Alex Freeman and co.
For sure. We're going to be reading some comments in the chat, and then we'll dive into what happened against Toronto. Let's see. JCB says, Buenas noches, everyone. What a game. I love to see Freeman show out. There you go. Thank you, JCB. Facundo Torres, I'm back. Thank you, sir. Appreciate it. How is Palmeiras, Facu? Hopefully everything is going well right there on the bench. You know what I mean? Josh Stahl. let's go about the 4-2 win. Let's keep it up. Vamos Orlando. Thank you so much. Infinite BX. Happy Monday, everyone. Yeah, happy Monday. David Albury, happy Victory Monday, everyone. What a night in the wall. What a night in the city beautiful. Thank you so much, Mr. David. Miss Francis, good evening. Great game on Saturday. Yeah, it was a fantastic game. Offensively, I think Orlando is showing a lot of prowess. And let's start with that. Honestly, number one, and I don't know if you feel the same way, John. They got to me Pasilic's number yet. I got Toronto watch film, and they saw what Pasilic was doing offensively in the last game, even though Orlando lost. Um, and Brace, first game in the MLS. This game they had him surrounded. They always they two-man mark him essentially. They got two midfielders surrounding him, which forced him to kind of drop a little deep and play very good defensively. I mean, I think he had a couple of he had maybe one or two turnovers during the whole game, but I feel like defensively he was very efficient to recoup the ball and for the team to go in transition. And I think the way Oscar set up the attack, it allowed him to drop a little deeper. He did get a yellow card, I believe. He got a card, I believe, or something on those sorts, a bad foul. But I believe Pasalic, they got his number. They made him a little bit ineffective offensively, but I feel in the collective of things, he was great marking other players and disrupting Toronto, and Orlando essentially dominated this whole game entirely. I don't know if you feel the same way, John, about Pasalic. What are your thoughts about Marco?
Yeah, definitely. I think you nailed it. They 2v1'd him, they saw that he was obviously our most aggressive threat on their attack, and new DP. Okay, they don't have Faku. This is the guy we got to watch out for. This is the guy we got to mark. And that's going to happen. We're going to have games where, Pasalic is as good as he can't muscle off two guys all the time. The same thing would happen to anybody in our team if they decide to double up on him, similar to what teams do to all the big DPs and stars around the league. But all that did, if you ask me, was open up more opportunities. They can't mark everybody, of course. So the guys that were, not watching him, that allowed Ojeda get away for some players, allowed him to have more space. Angulo, Alex Freeman, another one that was getting even, I think Cesar perhaps even benefited quite a lot from them really paying attention a lot to Pasalic and leaving, space vacated on that side of the field as well for him coming deeper. So I really, for them, yes, they marked him out of the game, but it didn't help to stopping our attack because we have so many threats that can score from other places. The other thing is I watched when he came off, and he's still messing with his shoulder from last game. So I don't know if that's like a big problem for him, but last game he had something on his shoulder and he was bothering him the whole time. Clearly it's not completely gone, or during this game against Toronto, they somehow re-injured it, maybe when he fell and was down for a while, and it just seemed to be bothering him. So I think it was also, Luis, yes, he was getting man marked, but Oscar said, let's get you out of there at 65 minutes anyway, just to play it safe with the shoulder that's been bothering him.
Yeah, we cannot get him. We cannot. He cannot get injured.
Yeah, the injuries
Um,
are coming first in the early season, man.
unless
They.
unless Fabian Loyola is ready. You know what I mean?
I feel like last year we rode our injury luck, and this year it's all coming home to roost. So yeah, it happens. Teams have these seasons, and we just started out, I think, pretty unlucky with several SEIs, and then little things here and there as well.
James Regis, I think the pitch had an effect on Pasalic as well. Many times the ball just stopped on him when he was maneuvering. The pitch was very wet, but I think that's what the club does anyway. So I don't know if there's a couple of parts within the pitch that it looks kind of like the grass is like kind of dead.
Yeah, I mean
Yeah.
the whole goalkeeper patch is new turf laid in. You can tell that
Yeah.
where Pedro was, and a lot of other areas of the field. I think they just struggled this year. I don't know whether I know they had some turnover in the guys that run that, but I don't want to question anybody's ability to do their job. I think often with stuff like the pitch is tied so much to the weather, and I think this year it just hasn't been kind to us, and you can kind of see that the pitchers needing a little bit of time and love. And I think that's just going to come with the summer returning and getting more of that grass to grow back. It's not, I think some people think that you can instantly fix a pitch, but it's really so much of it takes time and like leaving it alone and letting it rest, which is kind of difficult to do when you just started a season and Orlando Pride about to start a season. So, as much as I want to be like, yeah, the pitch is a mess, we got to fix it. There's not really a lot you can do when the season's going on, like really. So,
Yeah, you could actually
I
hurt the
don't know
players
why we
worse.
ended up in this situation with it. Maybe I'm being nice and saying it's the weather, but that's the only thing I can feel like this year things will be a bit different. And with the cold and the lack of, rain
Well, I
and
mean
things,
the
maybe.
well the temperature's been fluctuating, but I
Yeah,
mean,
I don't
look,
know. I don't know enough about grass to tell you, but I can tell you this is not something that gets fixed instantly overnight.
yeah,
They're not just going to relay a new pitch. It doesn't work like
people
that. They
people are
have to
saying,
actually give the grass time to come back. Like it's
yeah,
grass.
look, people are saying that hey, the Wolves need to pay up, man. And it's easy to talk about somebody else's money, obviously, but it's the weather mainly. And if you really compare Orlando City's pitch to El Salvador or Peru or even Brazil, Serie B, or any team mid-tier down, Orlando City's Orlando City Stadium is 10 times better. The pitch is 10 times better. So honestly, for a
And
footballer,
I
like
think
John was
that's
saying,
why we notice it, Luis, because
right?
it's been something we've never had an issue with. That now we notice it.
Yeah, yeah. Obviously, we notice it because there's dead patches and things like that, but it's not really the end of the world. I mean, now if you right now change the turf, it's definitely gonna affect the play. It's brand new turf, it's brand new grass, and you definitely can injure some players there, and for both teams, Pride and City. So that's what John is saying. So we got to take it with a grain of salt. But let's go and dive into the actual goals. And let's start with this because Orlando came out and it was very a 50-50. Nobody was trying, everybody was playing very compactly. Obviously Orlando didn't want to have the same defensive blunders as they did in the first game. And then this happened.
Here we go.
Now, I don't know how the MLS went from the goal recap from 0 minutes to 32, but
For real
that's
though, not a lot happened in that 30
that's
minutes. Like, no lies, it was pretty dead for the first
you're right. But
35.
it kind of tells you that in 32 minutes, it was really nothing was happening essentially. So Orlando opened with a golazo. I mean, I'm gonna say it. I mean, it's a phenomenal goal. First time I've ever seen him score of a free kick. I think it's his first free kick goal in his whole career. I do want to say so. Thoughts? This guy was on the verge of possibly leaving the team. A lot of there was a lot of talks. He obviously celebrated because he just had a baby, and kind of honoring his wife, and I think his wife is expecting again, from my understanding, or she's expecting now. So it's amazing, phenomenal game, and it kind of set the tone for Orlando. And then Orlando after that, you know, just like any other Orlando City game, it just made themselves comfortable to attack even more. I don't know. What are your thoughts on Cesar's goal, John?
I mean, yeah, you didn't know he had that in the locker, did you? I mean, I think we've seen him take free kicks before on rare occasions, like, but not very often. And we were always like, why is Cesar the one taking it? Like, and
Yeah,
I think sometimes, and I do this, and you do this, Louise. We had the tendency to kind of pigeonhole Cesar into, oh, this guy is just like a ball winning midfielder. Like he's a go out there and win you the ball back, dirty kind of midfielder, but doesn't really have much more to his game than that. And I think clearly this shows here that was perhaps a little bit unfair. And I think also some of the passes that we see him make during this game as well. I was really impressed with his passing range, sitting a bit deeper, doing more of that Wilder role where he's spreading the ball around with long range passing. I think sometimes we forget that Cesar is maybe a little bit more. And this reminded me of, remember, like the Open Cup run Cesar and back in 2022, this was like that. Like he kind of took, I don't want to say a step back, but when he first came to the club, we were so excited about him and there was so much hype around him. And I really just thought he was going to keep developing. And then he kind of reached a plateau, I feel like, with his game.
yeah,
And then this is like, okay, look, I can do more. Right. And I think with what we heard about him in the off season, with what's happening with, him potentially wanting a bigger contract, right? Wanting to say, be one of the higher paid players in the team. And so I think, they probably said to him, like, yeah, you're going to stay here for a year, but if you want to get that kind of contract, you need to prove it to us, right? You need to go out there and
exactly.
show why you can be the big boy. Why do you deserve, TAM level money, whatever it is, to stay here, and we'll invest in you. We don't want to put all that money into just an average MLS defensive midfielder. Show us more than that. And then clearly here he did. I loved what Oscar was talking about, Luis, in the press conference, where he was saying they all just hang, after the game and they take shots. And this is like an evolution of that, and him practicing with Martin and with Pasalic and all these other guys. But clearly, an incredible, you can't get a better free kick than that, dude. I mean, it hits this post and goes in. It's perfect. And it should have been in the goal of the week contention for MLS. What's up with that?
It probably won't be because MLS doesn't like
dude,
us.
they posted it, get goal of the week, game week. This is not in there. It's like,
Now,
why is this not in the voting? It's an incredible free kick. Like, get out of here. I'm sorry, but that really
MLS never likes Orlando City. It's just the way it is. Even when we went to the Eastern Conference Finals.
Yeah, I know that, but sometimes I'm just still amazed by like, wow, you don't acknowledge, how good a goal this was.
And we'll talk about NYCFC, and that's one of the reasons why really the MLS doesn't like us. So we'll talk about it in just a moment. But we're gonna recome just a second. But I do wanted to say about this is, number one, kudos to Cesar, phenomenal. I think, and sources say, told me the loss against Philly affected them tremendously. Yes, what you say is completely true. The club is like, okay, you want a bigger contract, you won the bucks, you won the money, you won the moolah, you won the bounty. You need to show us more, right? So he's putting up the hours to be that Cesar, right? So, but not only that, it's just the loss against Philly, which they weren't really expecting. I think they were overconfident, and it kind of hit them hard that everybody started working, like Pedro and Cesar, everyone. So, it shows, and I hope they continue this form, because right now they're going to go play into a box of matches called Yankee Stadium. And today NYCFC released his 10-year anniversary post with Pirlo, and I'm like, bro, like, we had to build a stadium to play the MLS, and you still, in 10 years, where's your freaking stadium? You know what I mean? What about 10 years of that? Like
10 years of baseball games,
right? 10 years of baseball field. Let's do some comment. John Merritt, Dynamo's pitch looked way worse last night in comparison. There you go. Rodolfo Chang, also, Cesar played his best game in 2 years. Freeman needs a keeper. Dagger needs to move to midfield. There you go. John, have you noticed, Rodolfo, how now the club is acknowledging Dagger as a defender / midfielder?
I have not noticed that.
Yeah.
Wow.
In all club stuff that they send to press, now they're putting defender / midfielder. FYI. John Merritt, I think the weather had a ton to do with the pitch. Chilly winter, not a ton of rain. Completely agree with you, John. Good evening. Is Malco all right? He got me straight about Toronto. I mean, personally, the way I feel, I do agree with John that, he might have something there, but he's going to play. I mean, he's European. He's Croatian, dude. Those guys are like descendants of freaking Vikings, man. Those guys are like warriors, bro. They don't give up easily. Like, they could play with dislocated shoulders. Now, I'm not saying that his shoulders dislocated by any means, but they're tough, man. I think the pitch had an effect on Pasalic. Many times it's just the ball stopped. Thank you, James. Appreciate it, guys. I do want to say the shuffle in the lineup. I don't know if you thought it was surprising. The short-term signings of Caraballo, of Gusky, of Taifi. Now the surprise of not having Brecalo, Nico Rodriguez, and I do want to say thank God for Mr. Kyle Smith, the accountant, man, because honestly, what a game he had. I mean, he embodies Orlando City. Like, he is Orlando City. I mean, he probably is not the top goal scorer in the team, but he is Orlando City. I think Kyle Smith we trust, And he played an amazing game. Like no one remembered Brecalo in this game. Honestly, I mean, people knew he's injured, but I mean, it was a complete different ball game for Kyle. First, John, your thoughts on Brecalo injured again, and Nico picking up a knock in training apparently, and Kyle Smith stepping up.
Yeah, man. I mean, another lineup surprise, right? I feel like that was a little bit of shock in the back line there when we saw that. Of course, first one being Dagger, not there for Alex, and then Brecalo, again not ready. Jensen not ready. And then we look at a back line that is Schlegel, Smith, and Santos. I was slightly disappointed not to see Thomas Williams. Of course, Kyle Smith had a great game. Like you said, I just thought maybe this was an opportunity to give the likes of Thomas Williams, like an actual center back, a go. But Oscar trusts the guys he trusts, and the number one guy he trusts to fill in any hole in any part of the defense is Kyle Smith. Like, the man is, the Swiss Army knife of defenders. He can go left back, center mid. It doesn't matter. He knows how to put a shift in. I will say that is what impresses me a lot about Kyle, is the way that he's able to play different roles on the field and do it so seamlessly. And he played center back really well next to Schlegel. Didn't really put a foot wrong. I can't really blame him for any of the goals. I think that ball he played for Alex Freeman, which we'll see in a minute on the second goal, that was a ball that he just played like, I got to get this out of my feet. And I saw Alex and just pinged it at him. And
he just makes
perfect.
It look so simple, dude.
Right. And that's the thing, is like the level of calm on the ball that he has, and the level of, I feel like there's a lot of responsibility. You could say, okay, I'm going to put Kyle in there and know that he won't mess up. Right. And I think that's the thing. He is the safe option. He's not always the most exciting player, but he is always one of the safest players in the team. And I feel like him and Schlegel have a better understanding in center back than we saw with Brecalo and Schlegel last week. And I think that really helped. Santos also a much improvement from him. Still not perfect, of course. Like, there were some issues, but definitely a much better performance than we saw against Philly. Wasn't getting nearly as cooked on that side. Also, West, I thought looked even better in this game. Another one. So yeah, man, I was happy overall with the lineup. I think when you see that defense, though, I was kind of expecting us to concede a goal or two. I was like, well, I don't think we're gonna have a clean sheet with this back four.
Yeah, I mean, for sure. I mean, what can I say about Kyle Smith? Like I said, tremendous, tremendous work. And I do want to say, I think we got duped with Brecalo, bro. I think he has some sort of nagging injury since.
I remember when we signed him that Gnocchi, shout out to Gnocchi, fan of the pod, always commenting, said, I'm concerned about this injury record and the fact that he just had that before we'd signed. Now, I wanted to be hopeful on it, but it's just one thing after the other with him, man.
Yeah,
I feel like he's great when he can play, but it's killing him that he can't play.
I think when his contract, that's it. I'm sorry, but it feels
he's got to recover this year. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like if he has 2 years of not being available and these constant injuries, and that's the thing. It's like 3 or 4 weeks here, another 3 or 4 weeks there, and you builds up. So if you look back, like, I'd have to look up his injury record from last year, but he probably missed quite a lot of games over that time.
Yeah.
And it's been 2, almost been really 1, but he missed some preseason games as well. So, I still have hopes that he can get fit and be that center back that we believe he can be, but he's got to stay fit. And we need some consistency with him in the lineup.
No, I do say that. I know you said that, that when you saw that back four, you thought, yeah, they're going to concede some goals. Before Toronto scored those 2, I thought the Lions defense did very well, limiting their Toronto's chances. I thought, there were Probably a few dangerous passes playing through the box from Bernadeschi, especially Bernadeschi was like completely shut down. I think Toronto created really minimal danger on even shots from distance, which if they have been successful, or set pieces, but I think Orlando did really well. But eventually, like you said, we conceded 2 goals, and I think that's something that we definitely need to analyze. But let's read some comments real quick before we go to the second goal. Josh Stahl says, "What's the update with Robin? Is it true Robin is out for 3 weeks?" Well, look, take it with a grain of salt. I mean, again, I don't know who said that, honestly.
Yeah,
3
I don't know where
weeks.
this report came out that he's 3
Yeah,
weeks.
I,
So
I
I whatever
I
information
really don't know. All I
that is
can
not
tell you is,
official. We have nothing official yet from
yeah,
the
I mean,
club.
there's
So
really nothing official being said about Robin. All I could tell you is that,
I don't think they know. I think it's one of those we're get him up to fitness and we'll see. But they're always
yeah,
projecting, and it's like it does say like 3 to 6 weeks. So that's why they don't announce it, because they don't. He's fit again when he's fit
it's like
again.
me
You know what I
saying,
mean? Like
it's like me saying,
yeah.
yeah, 4 to 5 weeks. You know what I mean?
Right, like
Probably
I feel
around
like
there.
we could, say that and guesstimate that for sure. Like that's what you might assume. Like he's training, but he's not in contact training. So obviously from that you can say, okay, well, he's got a certain level.
Now,
There's rumors that it's his hammy or something. So
I do want to tell you is this: anywhere in the world, the clubs control the narrative. So there's no one, unless it's a lower division team, a team that it's like in the second division or third division of soccer, of football, that they're going to tell you, yes, sir. According to the doctor, sir, it's 2 weeks. No club's going to tell you. Real Madrid's not going to tell you. Barca's not going to tell you. MLS is not going to tell you. MX is not going to tell you. They're not going to tell us. MLS across the board, and this is across the board because I've talked to colleagues from Austin, from Cincinnati, from Chicago. They do the lower body injury. They give no time frame.
it's a policy.
Yeah, it's
There's
just a
written
policy
policies
across
for
the
these
board
things.
from the MLS. So when people give key times, it's either 2 things. Either they talk to the player, and the player, is telling them directly, yeah, I'll be back in 3 weeks, which I highly doubt. Robin is really non-existent in social media, right? Or they know the doctor, and the doctor leaked it. I mean, that's the only 2 ways. But from the club, it's impossible. And I know for a lot of fans, it tells them, but they're not transparent, blah, blah, blah. But that's the way they work, man. It's like, we're not going to change the electoral college and still going to be the electoral college. You know what I mean? You're not going to change the system. You know what I mean? You can fight it out and protest all you want, but that's not going to change anything, right? Dinamo, says that what? Oh, says Josh Tall. Thank you so much. Let's go with the second goal, which definitely goes to our next topic, which is Alex Freeman. I'm trying to fast forward real quick. Oh, right here.
Got that right. There's nothing the Toronto keeper can do about that. Threading passes through the midfield and being.
Now, Atuesta has been tremendous, just like you said, John. I mean, Cesar is doing that more of a Cartagena role, and Atuesta is more of like the offensive guy in the mid,
Fine.
And just look
with his technique, well, he certainly got that right.
Look at Kyle, man.
Now Freeman has got a yard on his man, and it's Freeman in his first start. What a moment! The starborn in the city beautiful. Alex Freeman's first MLS goal.
From Smith stepping in as a centre back. Filled in for injuries along that back line. He puts it right into the path of Freeman. Gets the run on his mark. We talk about that battle back and forth between the 2 youngsters. Zimmermansik gets wrong side. And Freeman in behind. He controls it nicely, then controls his head to be able to tuck that ball away.
Now, your thoughts on this, John? I mean, this is a kid that came from the academy. This is a kid that validates everything the academy is doing. There is a kid that, if you're in the academy right now and you're watching this podcast, which I know a lot of people do, and I want to thank you for doing that and supporting the brand. This is what you did. This is the goal, right? What Alex just did, and it's a full circle, and it's tremendous. Talk about also Alex's family, which had taken a step back. I mean, Alex is writing his own name. I mean, his dad is a Super Bowl winner. He played with the Packers. You know what I mean? So his dad is he's in the Packers Hall of Fame. So his dad is a big deal, but his dad wants him to write his own story. There's no I'm living off my dad's name type of thing, which a lot of people will probably expect being an athlete. Hello to Trinity Rodman. There you go. But definitely in his case, it's a complete different direction, and he's living it right now. And right now, I feel like he's gonna definitely take that starting role. Tremendous goal, tremendous moment. Thoughts, John, on Alex Freeman?
I mean, I feel like you said it all there, man. He's the future, right? I mean, that's it. And I think we've heard so much for so long about the academy, and we've seen some guys coming through, right? And it's never really been that convincing. Like, I feel like how excited we got over Mikey Halliday, and no disrespect to Mikey Halliday, but Alex Freeman already looks better than Mikey Halliday did, in a lot of ways. So it's that shows the level of growth that we're having. I feel like, Tommy Redding crawled so that, like Alex Freeman could run. Like, that's it. Like, it's not something that just happens overnight. It takes years. Like, Alex is a guy that has watched Orlando City from a kid. He's watched it. He's in this generation now we have watching it, wanting to be a part of that, watching the professional athletes saying, I one day want to go play for this professional team. And then on Saturday, his dreams, well, obviously he's played before, but the start, the goal, it really hits home as a reality this weekend. So incredible for him. And I think it's incredible for our organization. It's exactly what we want. Hopefully he is the first of many to come through the pipeline. I know Ricardo is always posting about the future of Orlando City and the Academy OCB pipeline that we have.
Segura, and he's a 9. He's a striker.
Right. Yeah, and we've got 2 or 3 of these guys that could also follow the Alex model. Like Colin Gusky could pop off like this. Like he could be a guy that really makes a name for himself this year if he gets some opportunities. There's more. There's more behind that too. So
Caraballo.
All Caraballo, of course. We won't go into an OCB podcast, but I think Alex has shown this is the way to do it. And I think also the way that he, in his press conference, what he was talking about with everything, and he knows that defense is the part of his game that he has to work on. And honestly, he's been defending really well. So if he can do that and bring in the attack as well, like this game, I didn't think like he had a problem on defense at all, but the attack was so dangerous, and the way that he runs that right wing, everyone knows I love Dagger, and I'm a big Dagger fan. And I honestly think Dagger has lost his spot because Alex is showing so much promise, not because Dagger has played badly or deserves it in any way to be dropped from the starting 11. But Alex is showing so much that he basically forced himself into the team, how to get that start, and have, Oscar say, okay, I got to reward you because you're performing so well. The way that he talked about Oscar being that father figure and that he wants to do it, I think just shows the impact that he has on these guys and how much they want to play for him and show what they can do. And the final thing I'll say on this is the connection with the OCB, coach, and having Martin Perlmull that then joined I think is really we're seeing a lot of that now because he knows what Alex can do, right? So he's showing Oscar, this is how we should use Alex. Oscar's like, great, like let's get him in the starting 11. Here's what happens. So all in all, just really exciting. And I think it's one of those times, Luis, where you look back and you go, look at what we're doing now. This is how far we've come. USL club to producing a guy in the academy the likes of Alex Freeman.
Yeah, I mean, I know a lot of people, a lot of the fan base want to win fast and want to win right now, and because and like me, I put myself as an example. You follow a team maybe like Chelsea or like Barcelona or like Madrid, even or a big team in a South American country. You want to win fast, and you maybe see as not winning as mediocre because that's what you've grown doing and listening, watching. But soccer is more than that. Soccer is about culture, is about moments, is about passion, and this is the moments that you live for. This is one of those moments. Somebody that came from your youth system, that it's now a starter in your top tier team, and defensively he did tremendously. I believe in both games that he's had minutes and played. I think he definitely boosted that wing tremendously. He Simmermanchik, I don't know his name, but the guy from Toronto, I mean, he was non-existent when he was there. He made Atuesta free flow because Atuesta felt comfortable for the kid to be right there in the right moments. Sean Johnson, probably you will see him coming a little bit more forward to try to get the ball. He didn't even give him a second. He just shot the ball so well with his left foot. Yeah, left-footed. Yeah, left-footed. And that really is what we really are as a team. I mean, it's gonna take our time. Our time is gonna come, but we have to be a team that, like right now, like if you take an example for Inter Miami, you take away Messi, Suarez, Jordi Alba, Busquets out of that team, what do they have? If Orlando is doing other things, Orlando is bringing young guys.
I mean, they're buying their young talent.
They're buying their young talent. We are building our young talent, which eventually is going to be better for us as a club, I feel. Yeah. And that's the way clubs, even in South America, like there's a club called Independiente del Valle, which I don't know if people from Ecuador are watching. They're now the breeding ground of stars now. Like Moy Caicedo came from there, plays in Chelsea. Also, what's his name? The center back for the Ecuadorian national team who plays in Leverkusen also came from there. Also, Peñarol is the same model. So, I mean, we have to see what kind of team we're going to be. And I think that's the team we are. And so, people want to, and I understand they want to win now, but it's a process. And I think Orlando right now is knocking all those doors. And I think it's a fantastic moment for the club. I think that to me was the cherry on the cake, and it made that 4-2 win even more valuable, in my opinion. I don't know if you agree with that, John.
For sure, man. When you see it with he's not like 100% our, homegrown player, but I consider him that way, right? He's an academy product, and those always hit hard when they're the success, right? It's that he's an Orlando guy. He's doing it for his home team. It always hits me hard. So Alex Freeman getting this goal. I mean, this was like the game of goals scored by guys we didn't expect, apart from really Martin Ojeda. Dagger. If you'd have told me Alex Freeman, Dagger, and Cesar Arujo are going to get goals in this game, I would have said there's no way. You're crazy. So great to see that everyone's contributing towards the goals. Incredible run by Alex. And then let's talk about these other two.
For sure.
That was also,
we're going to be talking about
the third one. Very
JCB's
nice.
95. Freeman was a highlight of the game for me. Dagger playing in the midfield seemed so natural for him, exciting to see. That's the cool thing about Dagger. What John said, he can play two positions, and right now the club is putting midfield on there. So that to
Shout
me,
out to Jim D. Jim, you thought I forgot that you kept saying Dagger at right wing. I
yeah.
did not forget. Your dreams came true. There you go.
Tony S. Freeman's offensive capability reminds me of Ruan. I think he's better than Ruan. And the reason why I feel Tony is better than Ruan because he can defend. Ruan couldn't defend. Tony S. I think Atuesta has been molding real well with the offense. A lot of key passes from him in these two matches. Yeah. A lot of great passing accuracy about Atuesta. And actually, let's watch this real quick.
The spin shot.
Man, look at this right here. This comes from Pasalic.
And it could be more.
And just look.
Before the break is Enrique.
Oh man, that's unlucky right there. I mean,
he's hit the post and the rebound is wide.
That was definitely going to be a goal by Atuesta.
Time for us just to take a quick look at this chance just before.
Such a great turning hit from Atuesta. Just how he spins, his awareness, his body balance, quick little turn. He's going one way, turns back.
But do they have a game still to come?
And then this happened. Let's rewind real quick.
Going one way, turns back.
Now this is Cesar.
But do they have a game still to compete in? Because Ojeda's gone right through the middle. This for the third. Round the keeper. Into the net. 3-0 Orlando. And surely now they're on their way to their first 3 points of the season.
Yeah, so Sean Johnson.
I love that, dude. You pause that there. Can you crop this? I want this as a meme. Sean Johnson's face on this goal, dude. Look at that. His eyes, he's doing the side eyes like, oh, yeah. You see that? Yo, Ojeda put it in the 5th gear, bro. He just went like, yo, watch this. I can go fast. And he just bombed it through the middle. And then the touch around the goalkeeper. It was like FIFA-esque, bro. It was beautiful. It was watch me just run around you, bro, and slip it in the corner. Cesar's assist. Chef's kiss. What a game from him. And I think this is a perfect example of what we saw all game and what I was kind of talking about when I said before that if you take Facu out of the situation, the counterattack, in my opinion, is way smoother and it just flows. Like we attack at such pace and it's much more direct this season. Don't you think? I think this game for me was like long balls over the top, like direct play, trying to get through ball straight through. We weren't taking 5 passes to get it up there. We're just going straight up the field. And I think there's nothing wrong with that. In fact, if you want to score more goals, Luis, you got to do a bit of that. Yes, I want to possess the ball, but I think honestly, the free flowing attack that we're seeing and the direct and aggressive nature of it, I think is the reason you're seeing 6 goals at the beginning of the season when early, in other years, it would have been 1 or 2.
A silent offensive player of the match, in my opinion, was Cesar Araujo, believe it or not. I mean, me.
He played a great game. I think he would have been my man of the match.
He had a bright game. Offensively, in my opinion. I mean, usually you think of Cesar more of like that defensive anchor, right? He, with the assist to Martin, I feel like he had a phenomenal game offensively. I think he had like almost 97% passing accuracy throughout the whole entire game. So he didn't. He recorded, I believe, an interception, and he didn't have a yellow card in this game, which it's great, Now, when it comes to Ojeda, obviously an emotional moment, another emotional moment. For Martin Ojeda, I mean, his late grandma passed away, and he had that shirt that he lifted and kind of honored her, and he kind of cried a little bit, it's been so recent, but it kind of shows what drives him, as a person, as a human being, his family, his desire of being that 10 and living up to that expectation. I feel like his desire of being that 10. You know, you're talking about Facu Torres and how important Facu was for the team, leaving the number 10 available, and him pretty much saying, Oscar, I could show you, I'll be your 10. And I mean, so far, I know it's 2 games. You know, there's going to be ups and downs, but I feel consistently, if he continues with this performance, he's definitely all-star candidate. You know, and I know I'm going a little bit too far, but I mean, I think if Ojeda maintains this form, maintains, you know, him doing the assist and the goals, he's definitely going to live up to that jersey, you know, for sure. So good for him, you know, because as you know, John, I remember trading back when you first joined and we started seeing I think we should trade Ojeda, man. You know what I mean? Like both of us, you know, we were like, you know, I think, you know, Ojeda's not really meshing really well, you know, and then all of a sudden now Ojeda is important cornerstone of the team. You know, I think if we lose Ojeda, we lose a lot of that offensive cohesiveness, you know. So I'm happy to see that, you know. I don't know if you feel the same way, John.
For sure, man. He's the new guy. He's it. He's the dude. He's the 10. He's the one we're all looking to. And I think what excites me about him is that it's goals and assists. You don't look at him as, you know, one-dimensional. And I feel like whether he's going to be that guy like we saw for the 3rd goal, running on and going all the way himself and putting it in the back of the net, or if he's going to be the guy who has to play that final ball to the, you know, eventual goal scorer, I feel like we can rely on him. I don't when he was running up the field with that attempt on the 3rd goal, I didn't go in my head like, oh, what's he going to do? Is he going to miss it? You know, I feel very confident in him in those moments and that's really what it is, right? That's what it comes down to, is those moments when we need him to be the one to step up and put the ball in the back of the net or make the pass or do whatever it is on the team to be the one who drags us forward. Then Ojeda's going to be the guy. I think a lot of people assumed it would be Pasalic because he's just replacing Facu, and we kind of thought Facu was that guy before. But honestly, I don't think Facu was ever that guy. Really, he wasn't, right? Like we've talked about before, since Nani left, I don't think we've had anybody who can do it on his, like, you know what I mean?
Right.
Drag the team forward.
Well,
that
to
X
be
factor,
that
extra MVP,
right, to be
know?
that player that if he's in your starting 11, you know he's going to do something, right?
Game-changing guy, right? A guy who can change the game on his own. And Ojeda is that. I think he is that. And I think we are going to see him develop and grow. And as long as he's putting up, you know, a goal or assist a game, one of those, I think he's going to be at the end of the season in that MVP conversation purely off the numbers. You know, like he could get into 15 and 15 this year. Like he could have an Evander level year from what we saw last year. Like it is possible for him. And it was really, you know, emotional to see him and everything that after this goal, the way he reacted. So you can tell he is fully invested in his life here in Orlando. And I feel like he's not looking to go anywhere, right? He's the guy we should put our
sure.
basket behind. You know, he's the one that's like, I want to be here. I want to be your guy. Let me do that. And he's showing that he can.
For sure, 110%. Let's read some comments real quick, and then we'll go to the negative part. We'll go to Toronto goals. Jim D, I have to listen later, guys. Thanks for the content. Thank you, Jim D. Appreciate it. Thank you so much for your support. Tony, yes. That's a beautiful crop, Louise. Thank you. Appreciate it, Tony. You know, it's what I do. Cropping. No, I'm just joking. David Albury, a tiny Johnston. Yeah, that's right. This is a great pause phase. That's right. Yeah. You know, he went to UCF, man. He's an Orlando guy, you know? Yeah. He's not a bad keeper. I mean, if Galese leaves, which I highly doubt he's going to, because of his age and everything, I think he's going to be staying forever a Lion. He would be a really good pickup, in my opinion. I think he's not a bad keeper, but, you know, I think Atuesta has been molding real well with the offense. A lot of key passes from him in these 2 matches. Thank you so much, Tony. Appreciate it. Let's go to Toronto's goal. Boo.
to attack this to the near post potentially. Here's the corner. It has in fact swung deep and headed in at the back post.
Now, to me, I feel, I don't know. A lot of people say it was Santos.
It has in fact swung deep and headed in at the back post.
A lot of people say that it should have been a Kyle foul. Some people I heard say that it was a Tuesta, that he didn't jump high enough. He's too short. Why are we hiring short people here? But I don't know. It is a set piece goal. That's what Toronto is known for. That's the only thing Toronto really has, honestly, right now. And they hit us with that again.
Here's the corner. It has in fact swung deep.
There was nothing Galese could do there. I don't know. What are your thoughts there, John? I mean, to me, I feel like this was just
I think it's a very good ball to the back post that kind of looks like it's going far out and then curls in to the back post. We have players there. One of them has to win it. I will say that I feel like our back line that we put out is not like Alex Freeman was our tallest player out there by a mile. He looked like honestly with Schlegel and Kyle Smith, like it comes down to like who's your big center back who's getting up there to hit that ball away.
And then they knocked Kyle out. I mean, they really knocked him. Look, he fell.
Well, there was not enough in that and Cesar is complaining after there's not enough there for me. If you watch it back, it's a goal. The guy jumps, sure, he gets high. He's a massive huge, center back. So that's what it is. He's a big center back. I'm gonna say like I said last week, I don't love that Pedro doesn't try to claim that. I believe he Luis, I'm sure you see this in national team. He doesn't like to do what they call like the high claim. He doesn't like to come out and take the ball out of the air, like jump and take the ball out of the air. And I feel like maybe he could have done that there. Maybe I'm being harsh, but that's something we don't see Pedro do very often. And often it's those balls that come close to him, which I want him to go out there and get near the goal, that if they're not headed away will result in a goal. But set piece, good set piece by them. We just didn't defend well enough.
Knowing Pedro from when he was in Peru, that's never been his forte. Now, he's always been afraid of...
he doesn't want to do it.
He's always been afraid of two things. One, injury. Clearly, because you literally have to go Michael Jordan on the ball, right?
And it's happened. We've seen him falling, while he jumps for a ball.
I think he felt, part of my French, shit, it's Toronto. They got it, right? You know what I mean?
Not without Breckel or Jansen.
If it was Miami or if it was like, Seattle, I think he would maybe do that. But in this case, he maybe trusted his back line, and I think he made a mistake there too. I feel like he never does that. Even in the national team, again, you can compare national team level center backs are different than club center backs, in my opinion. But I mean, he's not that type of keeper of going in the air. He's never been. So it's a good point that you make. I think it's a good assessment. I think it's a good assessment of what you make about Galese. Now, is his fully his responsibility? I don't really think so. I think, like you said, Roasted is like what, 2 feet tall. Like, dude's like the Undertaker, man. And
I mean, this one was really far out and curled back in, so I don't think he planned to go get it. But
I know. I totally agree.
I feel like he does need to do it a bit more. He needs to make that shout, come and claim the ball.
That's right.
You got to do it, bro.
Yeah.
So yeah. But also, we didn't have a center back that was tall enough to compete.
I would say that Robin would do that job usually.
Yeah, it's classic Jansen, get it out of there,
right?
Header.
So
yeah. Yeah. And that's the downside of having Kyle Smith at center back. Not that he didn't perform really well. He's just not physically built that way. And same with Schlegel too. You see Schlegel lose battles often against like Benteke versus Schlegel. He was getting muscled
Yeah, and
everywhere.
Benteke missed a penalty kick, man. Sucks.
Bro, that was hilarious, by the way. And Chicago still drew. Let's not go there. Do you want to talk about Dagger's goal?
We'll go Dagger's goal right here.
Move on.
Okay, Muriel's
now we got
kept going through the middle, and here he is. He's got Dagger down to.
Now look at that pass by Muriel, you know.
He's right in the box. Dagger down to Olsen. What a great goal! What a super.
No, he just came in too. He just subbed in. It was his first touch. You know?
A piece of football. And with Thorholsen's first touches, he puts it away for Orlando.
That's another one right there.
Another look from Sean Johnson. Great ball by Muriel. You got to say, I'm not a fan right now, and I like to complain about the man, but that was good. So 1 assist. I'm keeping track so far. We've had 1 assist for Muriel. I'm logging I'm trying to get our money, man. I'm logging every single goal and assist.
Man,
I'm gonna recognize it.
I feel, and with all the respect, I don't know. I think he needs to start scoring some goals, or at least have 20 assists this year. But
right, honestly, if he gets 20 assists,
yeah.
I'm like, dude, that's fine. Like that's what Oscar's saying you are now. That's fine. Like I don't care. But I was not enthused, let's say, when I saw Muriel warming up at like the 60-something minute. I was like, okay, we're gonna go there. He did okay this game. I wasn't wild, but that was a decent through ball. But overall, I'm still not like, and I think he lost a lot of foot battles. You saw him run do you see him like really run at one point? Did you see that? Do you see like he's really sprinted for a ball at one point?
And then he grabbed his hamstring.
And then he pulled his hammy.
Yeah.
Literally right out. It was like, yo, he used all the gas and then immediately pulled up and was like, oh no.
So
that was too much. And that for me was like, oh, that's exactly what
it's again, look, I'm the worst person to be talking about this, but I feel he's doing something in his off time that he should not be doing. That's all I'm trying to say. Being nice, either Chipotle, the massive burritos, the bowls. That now a Chipotle order, if you want wok and double chicken, is $30. That's ridiculous to me.
I'm sorry, what? What's happening?
A lot of beer.
I don't want to assume the man's lifestyle or anything that he's doing, but
that's what fans are saying, man. That's what
it's just not. Paula and you were all, maybe when he's fit, and I was like, well, he's never going to be fit.
He's
never going to be
fit.
I
came into I agree with you 110% because when I saw that too, and I'm glad that you mentioned, I was like, everyone in the press room was like, yo, is he tired already? Like literally, that was what we said. Yeah, I was like, he's grabbing his hammy. I was like, come on, man, he can't get injured. Who we're gonna get? Like, we're gonna get Justin Ellis coming in and joining. Come on, man. I wouldn't mind. Be honest with you.
That little bit of sprinting is what we need to see all the time, and then he did a little bit, and it killed him. So
he's a $3 million guy that's performing maybe 400,000 right now with the assist. Maybe if So I think that when people say they need to see him do something more, it is valid. It's a valid point. I mean,
and to be honest, says at least he assisted, and we're bagging on him, of course, but he did come on and get the assist. He did contribute. It's just for the guy that's earning the most on the squad and is, it's not enough. And I think that's at the end of the day. I'm happy to see improvement, and I will, don't want to keep chirping on the guy, but it's just not enough. And I think that's what it
Yeah,
comes
when
down
he
to.
grabbed his hammy, he had put Sean Johnson's face like that. You know,
For real, it was one of those like, oh, but what a finish by Dagger
tremendous.
Dan. We've talked this whole. We're supposed to be talking about Dagger's goal. Great finish by him, left-footed, a killer finish, and then the way he hugs, Alex, you
Yeah.
can tell that they're, it's like even though you're starting in my spot, we're all boys and we're
No,
all
what?
together. And also Dagger is a right winger, man. Like coming off, like he's that utility player. As much as I think he's a starter in ability, he does have that benefit of being a great super sub if you want to bring him off the bench and put him wherever you like, and he can do
No,
a job.
word on the street and per sources, comma, right? Everybody, according to what I know, everyone in the locker room since last year were calling for Alex Freeman, all the players. And they were all surprised why he was never part of it, because he's been the player that's been in practice, the one who has given them the most headaches to the back line. So everyone was like, yo, he's been ready for now. The reason why we did not see him last year as much is because Oscar is a ride or die type of guy, So the team of last year's squad got him to an Eastern Conference Finals, and he's the type of coach that's not going to change. If it ain't broke, that he doesn't fix it. You know what I mean? So Alex right now has the opportunity, 2 games played, 2 good performances, to definitely put himself in the starting squad for the near foreseeable future, knowing Oscar. So we'll see. I think Dagger can play 2 positions. I think that's fantastic. Let's read some comments. JCB's 95. Luis, me dices Muriel al estilo Cueva. Oh, like Christian Cueva from Peru. Yeah, it could be. It could be. Alex Freeman, Justin Ellis, Colin Gusky, Jutaro Sukada, if it would have been not injured, they're gonna eat kale, they're gonna drink protein shakes, they're gonna maybe, not drink soda, and it's just the way it is, right? Sometimes coming to America makes you very comfortable. Unfortunately, it is a fact. And it could be that, it could be that he's not getting used to that family life here. No one is asking for his autograph when he goes to buy a pizza. You know what I mean? So it's a whole different life, here. It makes you really enjoy your family time. And so maybe is that, I don't know, but I just feel like you should not be grabbing your hammy of just one run, man. That says a lot. I think when Dagger Dan came in, we were in a 4-4-2, so Muriel could work with Ramiro, but he still couldn't score. At least he assisted. Yep, to be honest. Thank you so much. Yeah, I think he needs to go, man. I was trying to hold out hope for him, but not anymore, says David Albert. Thank you so much. Pilot says Muriel came to America. No, come on, man. Come on, bro. Sean Johnson has been in the MLS for so damn long, says Pilot. Thank you so much. Appreciate you guys. And this game ended 4-2.
Yep.
We got another goal came from the Canadian squad. I don't know if you want to check it out or you just want to go to the next topic. I think we should maybe go to the next topic.
We'll go to the next topic for time, but yeah, I feel quickly. I don't blame anybody on this. The guy just hit a great ball that came out to him, and it just went. When he hit it, I was like,
a
that's
rocket.
a goal. Like, yeah, absolute screamer. So, hey, it happens, man. Not much you can do on that one. It felt he just wasn't marked to the edge of the box. And
Orlando was close to have a 5th, and they deserved a 5th because after that rocket, it was all Orlando. So Orlando had the opportunity to score a 5th goal, which would have had a difference of 3 goals, which is what I was hoping for. But I still take the 2-goal difference, obviously. But technically, tremendous job by the Lions offensively. Now, Orlando is 6 with 3 points. Top of the league is Philly Union.
Yeah, man. Everyone underestimating Philly. Obviously, we did game 1, but they put another 4 goals up. So now they're, 8 goals so far in the season, top of the table for them. Great start for Bradley Carnell and the Philly Union, which I don't want to excuse our first game, but in context, everyone was like, "Oh no, Philly aren't good," and we lost 4-2. But maybe Philly are really good. We don't know yet. It's so early in the season to say who is big and who is not in the East. But I feel like things we should talk about quickly. Charlotte definitely with a big win against Atlanta. Zaha getting on the score sheet. He and them, I think, are going to be a real threat this year. Inter Miami still winning, big win. Suarez did well there. Atlanta, like I said, with that loss, so maybe not starting as well as they would have liked. Cincinnati losing to Philly, so another one that you would assume to be in that top 3 or 4 at the beginning of the season, starting a little rough. The table's starting, Luis, to look a little bit like we expected, but there's still some, interesting starts to the season for sure. At Philadelphia Union being the number 1 to that. So yeah, I feel like not too bad from us in terms of an equal footing, as it were. We've scored goals and we've conceded goals. Let's see where we go from here. Hopefully the only way is up, and 6th is just the beginning. But last week we're at the bottom of the table, so progress.
Yeah,
right?
I mean, it's definitely
You can only play the team in front of you, Luis. You know what I mean? Like I think some people were like, "Oh, we beat Toronto, but it's only Toronto." You can only beat the team in front of you. Yes, we beat Toronto. Yes, we expected to beat Toronto. I don't think that's a bad thing. I think that's what we want.
yeah, for sure. I mean, I think they redeemed themselves with the fans after the blunder on the first game for sure. Now it's the moment of consistency, right? I think that's what everyone's looking for, consistency. So against NYCFC, they have to treat this, even though it's a box of matches, and they've been playing in that pitch for over 10 freaking years, and no one says anything, no one brings it up, right? They need to go there and play and win, and I think for the fans, a win against NYCFC it's a huge win. I think it would completely set the tone of like, okay, guys, all right, what happened in the first game? Okay, I think we can definitely move on out of that and move to bigger and positive and brighter things in life, and hopefully that's the case. For NYCFC, it is kind of like the season opener for them, so it's a big moment. It's going to be a packed stadium against these guys. They're celebrating their 10-year anniversary. The biggest news heard from that side, from the Pigeons, is Alonso Martinez, which is their new guy, their new Tati. He's essentially re-signed with the team, the Costa Rican superstar. So we'll see.
He looks good,
Yeah.
man. I gotta say, in their first couple of games, Martinez is very dangerous. Of course, this team is a little different. They're no Santi Rodriguez anymore. There are some changes. It was interesting here, Luis. Some insights from FootMob. New York City haven't lost to Orlando City in their last 5 meetings. So recent times against New York City, pretty bad. Obviously, we know whenever we go up there, we just can't perform on that pitch. I don't know what it is. We just seem not to be able to play on their tiny baseball field, probably because it's just not a very good field and we don't know how to play on it. And of course they do. And it's the same with most teams that go there. They struggle to be on their pitch. So this being an away game in a place that we always struggle against a team that in the last 5 meetings we haven't beaten, all of these factors don't fill me with a huge amount of hope for the win on the weekend, even though I do think our offense is looking bright. The defense obviously is got some problems still. And with our history playing in Yankee Stadium and how poorly we performed, it doesn't fill me with hope for this one, Luis, I got to say.
Well, look, I think this has to be a very this is gonna have to be a defensive minded game for Orlando City. I don't expect this to be a blowout or a 3-0 affair. Now, I would love for that to be the case. Maybe this is a game that Pasalic is able to break that hurdle from all these Orlando City stars that we've had to play with the purple on. Pasalic is the guy who breaks that curse of that roach trap. You know what I mean? I'll call it a stadium, right? So honestly, it could be it. But I feel like Orlando needs to stay compact, to stay defensively minded, and honestly, just try to get either a draw or a win. To me, I'll be content with a draw here. I'm not gonna because it is a tough pitch to play in. It's a pitch that it should not be allowed to. If America wants to, win and say that they're the next World Cup, hosts and stuff like that, which they are, they should not allow one other teams in the East to play in that stadium, in my opinion. But that's just me.
So New York's start to the season, they drew with Miami on opening day in that, interesting game where Messi managed to get an equalizer in like the 110th minute. Could have won that one, even though Miami were down to 10. Then they played LAFC this weekend and lost away at LAFC just 1-0. So pretty rough start for them, having to play Miami and LAFC in your first two, both away in your first two opening games. So I imagine they're going to be back home, like you said, Luis, for their home opener, and really want to get off to a good start, get a goal, get a win under their belt at least. Their team they played versus LAFC is up on the screen now. Martinez that we were talking about here, Luis, Alonso Martinez, Costa Rican. He definitely looks like a bright player. Didn't play well in this one, but I think is a real danger. Monsef Bakar, I got his name wrong. Last year he caused us problems. Hannes Wolf, remember him? The two D-mids.
Maxi Morales always plays good games.
Maxi Morales is the other one that always,
I'll break his leg.
Even at 38 years old, still causes us problems. The little guy.
I'll foul him.
And then Parks and Hack and D-mid are two pretty strong D-mids in my opinion. Very decent players there. The back line, I don't know too much about these other center backs. Matt Freese in goal, Tavon Gray at right back, etc. So the team doesn't wow me. But just the fact that we suck whenever we go to Yankee Stadium doesn't help. And I think the fact that they, like I said, played two big games as their opener, and they're looking at this as we're looking at, this is the game that they really want to win, having to go away to two very tough opponents, I think is a big factor. I'm with you, Luis. I think this one's got draw. If we're really hopeful, I think it's going to be like a 2-2 or a 1-1 situation.
Yeah, so a couple of things that I've been seeing, because I watched the NYCFC LAFC game, is Estrania Tanisevic, which is one of the center backs. He did really good, really solid with against LAFC and Miami as well. Tavon Gray was not supposed to play last game against LAFC, from my understanding. And he missed the season opener, but then he was available to play against LAFC, but I think they rushed him. And he's still kind of suffering a knock.
Yeah, so, 8 minutes. They brought him off after 8 minutes.
Yeah, so he may not play against Orlando. So that is good, because Tavon Gray's been a beast on the wing. Usually against Orlando.
Injury report, he's got a knock, apparently. Of course, this is just what FootMob's saying. We'll get the full report from the club later in the week. On our side, obviously, Duncan, Favre Loyola, Robin Jansen, Yotaro Sakata.
Yeah.
Add Nico Rodriguez to that list, because there was something there.
No, Nico Rodriguez.
I don't know what was up with that, why he wasn't there. Yeah,
so let's read some comments. Salty H2, a twisted spinning back kick to score is worth mentioning. It was so close to another goal. Yes, I totally agree. We just touched on it. Tony S, NYCFC will be tough. They play against Miami and LAFC. They will be looking for a fight. Thank you so much. Yeah, I totally agree. Pedro del Valle, what happened to Nico Rodriguez? Well, he ate too much bandeja paisa and arepas, and then he just kind of felt a knock. He felt a knock in training, at the end of training, and they decided not to jeopardize him, and just kind of hold off this game. He's a sub anyways for now, so they're able to take that, you know make him hold off a little bit, so he can come back stronger. I don't see many goals this weekend. Maybe a 1-1 draw, I think, is the most possible. I totally agree. I will go for the draw, if anything.
Last time we played was a 1-1 draw back in July. That was
Yeah,
at
but
home. Last time we went to their stadium, the last two times, 4-2 and 2-0 losses. The time before that, 2-1, 5-0. We won one time in New York back in July 2020, I believe. I don't think we've ever won outside of that one win in New York. So
if we can hold off this game, we can win this game in New York 1-0 or even 2-0. And the reason why I say is because lately, and what I saw against LAFC for New York, is they are not able to close out a lot of games. So they give it all defensively, and they're not closing out their games. So they lost that consistency that made them who they are, which is NYCFC. And so that it's something that they're going through right now. And a lot of fans, actually, they're kind of like in Orlando. They're saying that the City Group needs to spend more money on the franchise. Some fans have switched allegiances to the Red Bulls, because the Red Bulls are actually spending some cash, and NYCFC seems not to be spending a lot. So, it is what it is. But I think Orlando has a huge opportunity right here to either get a good result, which would be a draw or a win for sure, not drop, get 1 point or 3 points, and show the fans that they could also be road warriors. Hopefully they can win. But that pitch, man, to me, it's garbage, man. That pitch should not be allowed in the MLS.
Yeah, Paslic is about to learn a lot about MLS, and I don't think this man has ever played on such a terrible field in his life. He's gonna take one look at this and go, "What? Why are we playing on a baseball field with a dirt corner?" It's just not. It's not a good look for the league, and I'm not excited to watch us play on this field, Luis, because it doesn't make for exciting games, in my opinion.
What's your score prediction, John, for this game?
I feel like JC Beast has got it right there with 1-1. That's my feeling. I think, defensively we're not there. Offensively, like I said, we struggle at this stadium, so I'm hopeful we'll maybe get a goal, but I don't know if we'll be able to keep a clean sheet. So 1-1 or maybe 2-2. I'm going to go 1-1 though.
I go with a 3-1 win, Orlando.
You're always positive, man. I feel like you can't predict a loss or a draw. It's like against your soul.
Well,
You're like, I won't do it. I just won't do it. It's bad.
I just think that Atuesta is going to score on this one.
I could see that. Yeah.
I think Atuesta in this game, he's going to score.
It's going to be a game of tight spaces. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like this game, what suits our game is having room to run. And this pitch is so tiny that it's going to be a very tight technical game. And I can see Atuesta shining in that. Like that's his bread and butter. That's why Maxi Morales does so well there. Because that's what that kind of, that's their whole team.
Yeah, but then if you have a Atuesta making that, and then you have Cesar really being on Maxi, and then maybe, who knows, Pasalic, maybe that's something that he could thrive on. Right now, Tavon Gray on that side, it's not doing so well. LAFC really dominated the wings when they play against them. So, I think Pasalic could also have a good game. So I'll go for a 3-1 Orlando City. And if Orlando wins 3-1 against NYCFC in that roach box right here, roach trap, then
the roach trap,
bro, it's gonna be great. It says 3-1 with a Muriel brace. Says, come on, man.
You love to see it.
Hey, I'll take it though. I'll take it. Jim D.
Yeah.
John pointed out to me that Dagger scored a right wing. I feel vindicated. There you go.
See, I don't forget these things.
There you go. Anyways, it's gonna be a phenomenal game. Where I have all my positive vibes. My spirit bomb goes to them for sure. For them to do the win and to get the win. So right now,
it's going in here, man. I'm putting them all in.
Yeah.
for us
So
this year,
look,
so-
I was the closest on the second game.
You were pretty close. Yeah, it was looking like you were right until they started scoring.
Yeah.
But yeah, we gotta
I
get
gotta-
all this. But
I've gotten 3
we
to
go.
1 wins.
I try to remember. I'll have to go back and look. This was me guessing.
No,
so
no,
maybe you apologize.
it was 3 to 1. I remember.
Change your picks. Luis, we got to head out in a second. But before we do, I know that you wanted to end here
Yes.
with some words for the club.
Yeah, for sure. Well, where's my stuff? Hold on. I gotta. Oh, right here.
I put
I
you
just
on the
found it.
spot here.
So we're going to have a video. I'm going to do an official video of this. I've just been really busy, but I wanted to thank Orlando City. Obviously they gave me this beautiful right here. This beautiful Perfect Storm kit. So I'm going to go ahead and open it right now. Right here. It says,
That was a nice zip sound. Yo, that was a quality zip right there.
Look.
Ooh, that
I'll
was
do it
not a
again.
cheap zip. Oh, wow.
There you go.
Wow.
It says, we wanted to make sure that you were one of the first ones to get your hands on the new threats of 2025. Inspired by the convergence of sea breezes from each coast colliding in skies above, that create an intense Central Florida climate, the foundation of this design is a two-tone purple digital storm pattern that will be unique on each and every jersey. The Perfect Storm also features a 407 Thunderbolt on the back of neck and a Doppler radar storm icon on the jock tag. We hope you're as proud to wear it as we are, and be sure to tag at Orlando City or Vamos Orlando when you share on your social channels. Thank you so much. Appreciate it to the club. And I want to show this beauty right here for sure. It's the perfect kit, man. The Perfect Storm right here. Look at that right there. There you go.
Beautiful. Beautiful.
And it has the little 407 right here.
Yeah, the 407 in the lightning is pretty
Right
cool.
there,
That's
man.
pretty dope.
Look at
Yeah,
that.
I would say.
So
You getting this jersey brought a smile to my face, Luis, because it reminded me of when I used to do that job for the club and used to put all the names of the media and send out all the jerseys to all the guys from all the traditional media outlets that used to cover us and all that. So I'm glad to see the club is still doing that and still sending out jerseys to media. And of course, we thank them. For
sure. We
sending
want to throw appreciations to everybody there on communications. Now, number one, it's like we do this because we love Orlando City. We love the city beautiful. I don't do it because of a jersey. Let's not take that. Obviously, this I never expected that whatsoever. I never go driving from where I drive to Orlando for a jersey. Trust me. But we do it because this is our passion. This is what we do. And I want to just thank Orlando for being so generous and doing that, not only to me, but to a lot of my colleagues as well that come day in and day out and cover Orlando City through thick and thin, man. I want to say hello to Mike, to everybody there on the mainland, everybody there at Lemon City, all those guys, Alonzo, so Mike from Wesh. So all those guys, so I'm so happy for them as well. And, thank you to the club. We'll be doing the proper social acknowledgement tomorrow. So I wanted to also thank all of you guys for your support. Over 100 people here live. Drop us a thumbs up. Also listen to us. You can listen to us on Spotify and Apple Podcasts. We're on X as Loud and Proud Orlando. We're on Instagram as LP_podcast, Facebook, YouTube as Loud and Proud Orlando. Drop us a thumbs up and a comment. If you watch this later, make sure you drop your comment. We'll answer you on the next pod. Thank you guys for your support. John, anything else before we go, when we go to the Pride show?
No, just like you said, thank you to everybody who's supporting us and being part of our community here. I know if you're watching on YouTube later and you are not subscribed, please go and subscribe, because I know there's lots of people that
there's over
LPO, but
40%.
aren't always subscribed. So it doesn't cost you anything. Hit that subscribe button and the bell notification so you don't miss any videos, and you can be part of our community and be here every time we go live.
Yeah, for sure. Make sure you subscribe. It's a great way to help us out as well and putting out our content. So thank you so much, guys, for your support. We hope we meet again next week with another win. And if not, we'll still be here. And as always, vamos Orlando. Take care, guys. Have a wonderful
Vamos
night.
Orlando.
Have a good one. Thank you.